Rant about global warming. I am deeply concerned about our lack of a normal winter here in Northeast Ohio, and I'm sure a lot of other places. It seems like the only source of cold air anymore over the last several years I've noticed has been the polar vortex. Basically, if the polar vortex is not involved, we have very warm winters. It used to be there would be other sources of cold air, the polar regions. There would even be some homegrown cold air. Sometimes storms could produce cold air. Those all seem to be going. And what led me to think of this was the run on Giant Eagle today over basically 2 to 4 inches of snow. 2 to 4 inches of snow in Northeast Ohio is supposed to be, is pretty much like a flurry somewhere else. 2 to 4 inches of snow is routine, but I've noticed our lack of snow over the last several years has led people to get more and more worried about smaller and smaller amounts of snow. But it seems to me over the last maybe 20 years, we do not have normal winters. We either have winters that are really warm or we have winters that are really cold. In the winter, and even in the winters that are really warm, the polar vortex gets disrupted due to human activity disrupting the climate, and it comes down, it breaks off and comes down into our area. In the cold winters, the polar vortex is even more severely disrupted and comes down into our area. And so we have about maybe 80% of our winters are warm. The remaining 20% are cold. And we basically do not have any average winters here anymore. We need to acknowledge that global warming exists. Climate disruption exists. And humans are causing it, one way or the other. Christians need to realize that people that are doing this are not obeying God. God did not say destroy his planet. God did not say you have dominion over the planet. After the ark, he gave humans stewardship over the planet. There is nothing Christian about Donald Trump denying climate change. There is nothing Christian about Donald Trump, period. So as we go forward, people need to acknowledge that this exists. We need to figure out what's causing it and what we're going to do about it. People that are good, whose lifespan includes 30 to 40 more years on this planet, if it's even here, or even if we're here in that amount of time, really need to be concerned about what kind of life it's going to be when this planet is so badly overheated. The oceans are rising, and we're having such extreme weather. It's only going to get exponentially worse. And even if we do something about it, it's still going to get worse over the next 50, 60 years based on inertia. So we really need to take all this into consideration. And we need to make sure we both take care of the poor, reduce suffering, and reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases. That's all. I do not have a lot of hope in this because we're more concerned about money, and it may already be too late.